Hey, this is Mark the Meerkat with Grok Trade with the trade of the day from the Grok Day Trading Chat Room. It was on CRM. That's right, and it's been added to the Dow, and it had earnings, and kaboom, it was up for the day. And so let's take a look here. Just after opening, it had rised up here and was forming what we call an ascending triangle. If you want to know more about what an ascending triangle is, just go to our site, free online, tradingeducation.com, which is where all the free stuff is, and go to Chart School, the free Chart School, and go right down here to chart patterns, and this is an ascending triangle, the very first one. Click on that and you'll go to the page which shows you the drawing here of an ascending triangle. It's a horizontal line here when it's getting tighter and tighter and pinching here. If you want to read, you can read about it here. And then here's some examples from daily charts. Here's an example from also from a day trading chart, from a 1-minute candles like I use. So that's what they look like on real charts. So again, when it breaks above this line, the odds are in your favor. It's going to go in that direction for a while. You don't know how much, but let's take a look here on our CRM. Here it is, ascending triangle. So, and it's just basing here right at the 255. It's resisting at 255, and again, it was already up about 15% on the day. Let's see what happened next here. So I'm setting a trade up here and letting it come to me. Let's see here. 1, 2, there we go. It popped up, it didn't get in, and then boom, it went up, and I got in at 256.08. 256.08 was my fill on my long on CRM. All right, let's see how it goes from there. It popped up above this pivot line. It stopped briefly at the pivot line, came right back to the pivot line. Oh, by the way, I had a 1% attached stop right down here. Exactly 1% away was my stop, and I'm bringing it up here just underneath this 255, which would be less than 1% at risk. And I'm doing that because I have this shield now where it was resistance. If this falls back down, that could be support. I also have this pivot line here, this R1 pivot line, that it could also act as support. So let's see where it goes from there. And it pulls back to there. And look at it, it did dip down below it and now starting to roll back up. Bull pullback, possible additional trade there if you missed the first one. And going up, going up. Okay, now we're just a nice volume here. Now it's up here to the 266 area and kind of stalling right there. Bringing my stop up here now in the money. It's under 262. This was a little bit resistance area, support area there. I'm going to put it right under here. Let's go, and then it just went basing here for a little while with 265 as support, and now it's up here. Oh, look at that! Right down here, this is the R2 pivot line. R2 pivot line kept tagging it, and that's right at what? Just about 170, 160. Kept tagging it. So just right here, I decided I'm going to take out half. My rules say if it stalls at a line of resistance, like the R2 pivot line, I'm going to take out a partial to give my other half a chance to run. So I took out half here at 270.55 for 5.7% on the first half. Ooh, that's good. And so now I'm going to have my second half stop. I've got to change the number of shares because I only have half as many. I'm going to put it just below this 20 moving average here in that 265. So I have some shields if it decides to pull back a little bit. And let's see where it does from there. It does break out above there. It did right after I got out. It broke up above there, and it started to pull back here. And now I'm going to start to. I'm bringing my stop up here. About just under the 169 area, just under 169, and here we are, and I'm ready here, and pull right back to this 8 EMA. So I'm using that possible shield there, and the 269 is a possible shield, and it just sat there, and sat there, and then look at that, right there, it popped down just enough to stop me out, and my fill was at 268.61 on the second half for what 4.9% on the second half. So let's pull back and look at the whole trade here. Ascending triangle. When I got in, I didn't know how far I was going to go. Very typical behavior. Will pop up, pull back a little bit, and then everybody says this is good news, and it kept on running up here to new high of days here, and then when it pulled back just enough to get me out. And sure enough, what happened after that, by the way, Yeah, I kept on going up to a new high of day. Here's the high of day as the time of this recording at 12:56 Eastern time was at 277.98, just under 278. But it did run back up again, but I'm okay with that. So again, this whole trade here on CRM was for 5.3% in 23 minutes. Wow. And again, when I got in, I had no idea it was going to run for 5%. I just managed my stop. So this is Mark the Meerkat here. Hey, the lesson for today. Oh, you want to see what we did in the day trading chat room today? We just had, 9 trades today. But we typically have 10 to 12 trades in the first 2 hours of the morning. And it was for 9.2% net. And again, this was the biggest trade of the day, the 5%. A lot of choppiness. The market was not following through here. But look at the statistics here. Wow. 66% success rate. Our target is 60. 0 errors. And look at this actual reward risk ratio. We want it to be 1.6 to 1 minimum, and stretch goal would be 2 to 1. We were at 4.5 to 1, which means that my income trades on average were 4.5 times more than my expense trades. That's called letting your winners run and cutting your losers short. That's how we measure that. And then again, 9.2% on the day. That's 9.2% on portfolio risk. That's on how much you have invested. Our model portfolio says invest $10,000 per trade with a 1% attached stop, risking $100. We made about $900 there, working 2 hours this morning in the markets. Cool. It's a good job if you can get it. This is Mark the Meerkat. Hey, just remember, here's the lesson of the day. It's better not being in a trade wishing you were in than being in a trade wishing you were out. Thank you, Dr. Mike, for that one. Trade well, and may your winners run.